everyone, it's Donna here from Donna's Creative Corner, and I am here today with a project share. Nothing for sale today. Well, actually this will be for sale. You haven't seen me in a while because I'm getting ready for a craft fair that's coming up next week at my work. I'm actually running it, and I have a table at the fair as well to sell some of my handcrafted items. But I finished this several months ago, and I haven't had a chance to do a video on it yet. But this is my latest fabric album. The theme of it is my Victorian ladies in their big dresses. I just love those. I just can't imagine what it would be like during this time to wear something with all these layers, and it must have weighed a ton. Anyway, they're beautiful. So that's the theme of this album, is my Victorian ladies. On the cover, there is a wedding dress applique, that beaded applique that runs. It was a collar piece that runs down to the corner, and then it comes around this way, and it runs all the way around to the back of the album. There's some lace in the background. That's the only part you can see it. I'm planning to do something else with the spine. I just haven't figured out what I want to do with it yet, but it's kind of plain right now. There's some lace that goes all the way around to the back, and another layer of lace, and around the whole front and back is this three-layered cream colored ruffled lace that goes all the way around this side and all the way to the back. In the corner is a puffy flower that I made with a vintage earring piece in the center, and then from that are just a bunch of dangles coming off of that, and it's on top of a gathered up piece of Battenberg doily. So that's the front cover. First two pages have a little bit of blue in the photos, so there's a little bit of blue on this page. The picture on this page is some ladies drinking their tea, their afternoon tea, in their beautiful dresses. This one has some doily in the background. The very base of it is lace, and then around that is some dangled lace with these little pieces coming off of them, and then there's some wedding dress appliques scattered all over. In the corner is a gathered flower that I made with a beautiful brooch piece in the center of it. At the bottom of both of these pages is, the very bottom layer is, it was an old collar. Very old, very, tattered. There's two layers to it. There's another layer of doily pieces here, and then on top of that was the fringe. I had put the fringe to kind of match the maroon that was in the photo, and it looked so stark. I didn't like it, so I found some embroidered lace to put on top of it, and it just muted it just enough so you can still see a little bit of the color through the lace. And then some trim on top of that. In the middle is this bow. That was the bow that was on this collar that was on the very bottom level. I took the bow off and I brought it up to the top. And then just in the corner is a gathered bow with some dangles off of it. The second page, here's the photo on the second page. Some ladies and their children out for a stroll in the park. Around the photo is some flower trim. There's I think this was off of a bracelet, if I'm not mistaken, this jewelry piece down here. Another wedding dress applique in the corner here. dangling off the end. Up in the top corner is just a flower cluster with some dangles coming off of it, going down the side of the page. And then around the edge I put some blue pearls, alternating blue and gold, to kind of tie in the metal that's on the page and the blue that's in the photos. So that's the second page. The next two pages, this first page, I'll show you the picture with the ladies getting dressed in their boudoir, their long trains, just some dainty trim around the photo, and a bow at the bottom with a pearl. Below that is a wedding dress, or a Venice lace collar, or a V. It comes down this way and goes back up this way, and then a flower on top of that, and a bling piece at the bottom of that. The bottom of this page has there's the back side of the collar from the other page, and on top of that was another vintage piece that I layered with some eyelet lace and some trim. And then at the top of this page is a flower cluster with, I made this flower out of, you know how in Michael's you can get the thing of containing the wedding section, the container of the flower petals that you can throw at the wedding? I tried to do something with that. I did the burning technique and I glued them all together, and I really like how it turned out. It was quite tedious, so I think this is the only one that I made, but I like the way it turned out. There's a doily and a little doily pieces in the middle of that, and then this gorgeous button. I wish I had more of this. It looks so Art Deco. Beautiful button with the metal on it coming around it. I've been holding on to that for the longest time, waiting for the perfect place for it. Then another yo-yo flower with a big pearl, and then a bow at the top with the tails coming down. Around the top of this page, is some eyelet trim with ribbon running through it, and I put the pearls in it to tie into the rest of the metal pieces on this page. There's a doily peeking out at the top here with another wedding dress piece in there. In the middle is a wedding dress applique coming down the center of the page. On the next page, there's a photo of a Victorian family, ladies out for a stroll in the park with their children, looking at the lake, at the water with the geese. Around the photo is that same trim, and then some other dainty trim behind that. There's another flower cluster in the top corner here. You've got a double layer yo-yo with a big pearl in the middle of that one, and just a gathered flower with this. I think this was an earring piece with it's like almost wooden pearls in it, and then another wedding dress flower from one of my wedding dresses. Along this edge of the page is a edge from a doily back here, and then another piece of trim on top of that, and I put pearls in the center of the flowers on that trim. At the bottom of the photo are some flowers. This is one of those shabby trim flowers, and on top of that is an earring piece with some really pretty bling in it, and a dangle. And then another applique in the bottom here with some dangles coming off of that. That's that page. And the last two pages, this one I framed the photo in a circular. Pretty ladies out with their big dresses for a walk in the park. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different trims around the photo if you count the pearls. You've got the eyelet trim in the background, then there's this trim here, then there's some crochet trim, then another little dainty trim, and then the pearls. And in each corner of this page is the corner of it was the corner of a tablecloth, those corner pieces, with another doily, and then another applique and a pearl. And then kind of coming around the photo is a very vintage applique with these almost goldish brown pearls and little tiny clear seed beads on them as well. And I've layered those all the way around the photo. And at the bottom is the same cluster as what was at the top. At the bottom of the page is several layers. I have, that's the other page, didn't show. I've got this trim here. I've got some really sheer gathered lace, and this came off of a crochet doily, and then some more trim with another layer with blue to pick up the blue in her dress. And then lastly, the pocket page. This is the pocket page. That was a linen, just a linen piece, and I folded it over. It already had this piece on it. I just folded it over, and I put a cluster. I make these out of little tiny jewelry pieces and tiny flowers. You can see that. It's like a little collage. Then in the corner is a ruffled piece of lace, and then on top of that is a doily flower, and this doily flower has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different doilies, making it up in various sizes, and then some little pearls in the center. And then also in the gathered piece, I put some little pearl strands sticking out from that. And then at the top of the pocket, there's some crochet trim at the top of that, and another trim under that. And then there's a doily peeking out from the pocket. That same wedding dress applique that was on the other facing page, coming around the top of this page. And then around the whole page is this gorgeous Venice lace trim with some light blue ribbon running through it. And then the back side is fairly plain. It has the ruffled trim around the whole edge of it. That same trim that came from the front all the way to the back. And then this big 3-flower vintage applique with the dimensional flowers on it on the back. So there you have it. There's my latest fabric album. Sorry about that. My battery ran out and I had to plug in my camera. So that's the back of the album. I'm probably not going to be doing any more items for sale, possibly until the first of the year. I have this craft show coming up this coming weekend and another one in December, so I want to prepare for that. So that's all I have for today, and bye for now.